Good morning, my dear students. Welcome to science class. And yesterday we finished the diagram which will reveal about factors on which resistance of a conductor depends. So let us once again go through it. That circuit. Okay, before that, science subject. Factors on which resistance of a conductor depends. And we have the diagram. In which ammeter is connected. Then here plug key is there. Then here one gap is there. Okay, in this gap we are going to connect with some wires. And this is the negative terminal. And this is the positive terminal. Positive of ammeter and negative of ammeter, and switch key and one space is there in between, and current flows in this direction. Current I flows in this direction. So what are the components over there? It is having one cell. It consists of one cell, ammeter, and nichrome wire of length L, and plug key. Nichrome wire of length L and plug key. We are going to carry this activity with the help of nichrome wire. Okay, nichrome wire. This nichrome wire we are connecting over here, and we are checking the ammeter reading. So let us go through the things we are using for checking the ammeter reading. First, we are taking nichrome wire of length L, and again one nichrome wire of length 2L. Nichrome wire of length 2L. Then third, nichrome wire of length L and thickness 2. Thickness 2 T. Okay, let it be thickness 2 T. Thickness is doubled than this. Okay, or we will write it as breadth, no? So then finally one copper, and we are going to place one by one in this empty area. First we are placing this over here, and we are checking the reading in ammeter, or current I in ammeter. Then secondly, what we are placing the 2L. That means it will become twice the size. That time we are checking the current I in ammeter. Then we are placing the thick, that means the breadth is doubled. The thick nicron here, and we are checking the ammeter reading. And finally, what we are doing, we are putting just removing all this nicron, and we are putting a copper wire, and we are checking the ammeter reading, which is current I in ammeter. So we will get four different readings. And what we will like observe. In the first case, we will get some reading, but in second case, what happened? When the length of the nicron wire doubled, the ammeter reading halved, okay, become half. Then when this is thickened, it what happened? When it is thickened, when a thickened wire is connected, the reading increased. Then third one, first one, a nicron wire, we got one reading. Second one, when it is the length is doubled, the ammeter reading decreased by one half. And when the thickened wire is given, what happened? The ammeter reading increased. When the copper wire is given, some other reading have been given. This is what we observed. So from this, what we can study? On applying Ohm's law on resistance of a conductor, it depends on its length. Okay. Here, if you observe, when the length increases, what happen? The resistance become one half. The reading become change. Okay, that means decreased. And here, when the thickness increases, the reading also increases. From that, what we can study? We can study that it depends on the resistance. On applying Ohm's law, the resistance of a conductor depends upon the length of the material or length of the conductor, and also the cross-sectional area. Okay, here we can understand the length, and here cross-sectional area, and also the nature of material. Where we changed in first stage, we changed it to copper, so we got that the nature of material. Okay, so we can say on applying Ohm's law, the resistance of a conductor depends upon the length of the conductor, and also the area of cross section, and the properties of the material or the nature of the material. So we can say resistance of a uniform metallic conductor directly proportional to its length L, and inversely proportional to its cross-sectional area, which is given as A. So we will get a formula like this. Resistance of a uniform conductor is directly proportional to its length L, and inversely proportional to its cross-sectional area A. So we will get the formula R directly proportional to L, that is equation 1, and R inversely proportional to L by A, or cross-sectional area. Okay. Now combining 1 and 2, we get R directly proportional to inversely proportional to L by A, and R is equal to rho 1 by, sorry, L by A, rho L by A, where rho is a constant proportional, where rho, in here the rho is a constant of proportionality and is called the electrical resistivity of the material of the conductor. Okay, the rho is a constant of proportionality. Okay, and is called the electrical resistivity of the material or the conductor. Then SI unit of resistivity is ohm meter. SI unit of resistivity is ohm meter. Then it is the characteristic property of the material. It is the characteristic property of the material. The metals and alloy offer very low resistivity. That means 10 raised to minus 8 ohm meter and 10 raised to minus 10 ohm meter. Okay, this is the resistivity of metal. Okay, resistivity of metal, that is 10 raised to minus 8 and 10 raised to minus 10, and they are having very low resistivity. So they are called good conductors of electricity or current. Good conductors of electricity. Then insulators like rubber and glass offer a very high resistivity, that is 10 raised to 12 ohm meter and 10 raised to 5 ohm meter resistivity they are possessing, and they are called insulators. Okay, they are having very high resistivity, so they won't allow current to pass through it. Both resistance and resistivity vary with temperature. Okay, both the resistivity and the resistance vary with temperature. Then the resistivity of an alloy is comparatively higher than that of alloys. You know what is metals and alloys. In case of alloys, they possess more resistivity than metals. Then alloys don't burn in high temperature. When a high temperature is applied or when a high temperature is given, this alloys don't burn. Okay, so they are used in high heating electrical appliances. For example, devices such as electric iron, then toasters, etc. Okay, electric iron, toasters, then electric stove, everything. These alloys are used. Okay, so it won't burn at high temperature, and even they are used in such type of devices. Then you have seen filaments. In filaments, one metal is burning and giving you the light. Okay, what is that metal? That metal is called a tungsten. Okay, tungsten is used in electrical bulbs. Okay, tungsten is used in electrical bulbs. And if you observe your locality, you will see electric lines passing. Okay, electric lines passing, and the wires are made up of what? Any idea? They are made up of aluminium and copper. Okay, aluminium and copper allows shows low resistivity. Sorry, aluminum and copper is used in electrical lines. Okay, electrical lines to transform electrical energy. We studied that both the resistance and the resistivity changes according to the temperature. Let us see the resistivity of some substance 20 Celsius. Okay. Let us see the resistivity of some substance at 20 degree Celsius. And material we will write here, and resistivity we will write here. And first it is written as conductors. We will check the conductors. Okay, some conductors resistivity, that is silver and the resistivity is 1.60 into 10 raised to minus 8. Very low resistivity. Then copper 1.62 into 10 raised to minus 8. Then aluminium that is 2.63 into 10 raised to minus 8. Then tungsten 5.20 into 10 raised to minus 8. And some alloys, the others you can check in your textbook, and some alloys. Okay, that start with constant N. I will write one or two. Okay, it is alloy. Now it comes alloy. What is the resistivity of that alloy? 49 into 10 raised to minus 4. 49 into 10 raised to minus 4. Then manganese that is 44 into 10 raised to minus 4. And next comes insulators. Glass we studied, rubber we studied. We will write ebonite. Insulators ebonite 10 raised to 15 to 10 raised to 17. 10 raised to 15 to 10 raised to 17. Very high resistance. Then diamond 10 raised to 12 to 10 raised to 13. Diamond. Sorry. 10 raised to 12 to 10 raised to 13. Okay. This is the resistivity of some metals. Sorry, resistivity of some substance at 20 degree Celsius. Then we will go with one problem, that is How much current will an electric bulb draw from a 220 volt source if the resistance of the bulb filament is 1200 ohm? How much current will an electric heater coil draw from a 220 volt source if the resistance of the heater coil is 100 ohm? So we are going to write the solution here for the example 12.3. 12.3 solution we are writing. Given that current is equal to 220 volt, then resistance R is equal to 1200 ohm in bulb. So in first case we taken the equation I is equal to V by R. Therefore I is equal to V by R. Volt is 220 by resistance 1200. So the answer is 0.18 ohm. 0.18 ohm. Okay. So the question is, how much current will an electric bulb draw from a 220 volt? So we want to find current I. Okay. For I, we are having the equation I is equal to V by R. The volt is given. It is V, which is given, that is 220 watts, and resistance R is given, that is 1200 ohm. So we want to find current I, which is V by R, and we have given the given in the equation, and we got the answer like this. And in second case, the volt V is same. Okay, potential difference or V is same. Then the resistance is R is 100 ohm. So we know that. So in last case we got, once again I'll do some mistake happens. Once again I'll do the last one, that is we want to find I, given that V is equal to 220 volt and resistance is equal to 1200 ohm. Then I is equal to V by R, and we are giving the 220 by 1200, which will give 0.18, and we have to give the unit. Okay, I forget to give the unit, so only I return once again. And in the second case we want to it is given as V is equal to 220 volt and R is equal to 100 ohm. So we are having the equation for current I is equal to V by R, and we are giving in the equation 220 by resistance 100. So 2.2 ampere. Don't forget to write the SI unit. Okay, don't forget to write the SI unit. And that's all for the day. Thank you so much. Please study whatever given, and we'll meet in tomorrow's class. Thank you.